I once sat with a veteran who handed me a crumpled clinic note and said, "This is my whole case." He had the note, but not the link between that note and his service. One clear medical opinion could have changed everything for him. I'm Cameron Burrell. Let's get practical.
Quick heads up before we start. This podcast is educational, not legal or medical advice. If you need case-specific help, talk to a VA-accredited VSO, claims agent, or attorney. That said, let's focus on what you can actually control.
A single, well-documented Nexus opinion can tilt a claim from unsupported to understandable. Put simply, a Nexus opinion links today's problem back to service.
Ask yourself, did it start in service? That's the sentence a rater wants. A DBQ is the standardized checklist that makes symptoms, tests, and limits clear. Nexus plus DBQ, you're giving a rater the map.
So, when does a medical opinion actually help? Short answer, when it matches your claim theory and gives reasons. If you're claiming the condition began in service, you want the opinion to describe onset, any in-service treatment or event, and whether symptoms continued after service. If you're claiming aggravation, the opinion should describe baseline, what changed, and why the clinician believes service made it worse.
Let me give you a quick example I hear often. A vet told me he'd had knee pain since 2009, but only had one ER note from 2010 and a long gap in records. Alone, that ER note didn't connect the dots. A private opinion later linked the in-service knee injury, the ER note, and a recent MRI, explaining how the injury likely progressed. Suddenly, a rater could follow the path. The claim became understandable. A single, well-documented Nexus opinion can tilt a claim from unsupported to understandable.
Who writes a credible opinion? VA clinicians can, private specialists can, and an ongoing treating provider can too. Short answer, the right person, not necessarily the most famous name.
Relevance matters. A shoulder specialist about a shoulder issue, a psychiatrist about mental health, an orthopedist about knees. A clinician who examined you, reviewed records, and explains their reasoning will carry more weight than a brief, unsupported statement.
Asking for an opinion can feel awkward. Make it easy for the clinician. Bring a packet, service dates or DD-214, key service treatment notes or incident reports, recent civilian or VA records, imaging reports, and a one-page timeline with dates and short notes.
Use straightforward language when you ask. Try this.
Would you review these records and either complete the enclosed DBQ for my condition or write a short opinion stating whether, to a reasonable degree of medical probability, the condition is related to or aggravated by my military service, the records you rely on, and how it limits daily activities?
If a clinician won't use the phrase related to service, ask them to describe the medical link in their own words and to explain the mechanism. Even a side note that records history and objective findings helps.
What do VA reviewers look for? 3 things: clear rationale, connection to the record, and functional impact.
Clear rationale means the clinician explains why they reached the conclusion, not just a one-line guess. Connection to the record means they cite the records, tests, or dates they used. Functional impact describes how symptoms limit work, sleep, mobility, lifting, concentration, or daily tasks.
Concrete examples help. Helpful language might read, I examined Mr. X, reviewed his service treatment record dated June 2008 showing right knee strain, and MRI dated March 2022 showing medial meniscal tear. Given the in-service injury and continued symptoms, it is at least as likely as not that his current meniscal pathology is related to the in-service injury. Functionally, he is limited in squatting, prolonged walking, and climbing stairs.
Contrast that with patient has knee pain, not related to service. The second offers no reasoning. The first gives a path the rater can follow. If your treating clinician declines to write a Nexus or complete a DBQ, don't panic. Options include ask them to at least document the history and findings in a signed note, Get a private specialist opinion that includes credentials and rationale, or request a VA exam with your VSO's help.
If you pay for a private opinion, choose a provider who understands VA language, will cite records and tests they reviewed, and will explain how the condition limits work and daily life. Keep the signed opinion and the specialist's credentials together in your packet.
Organization tips that really work. Prepare a one-page timeline of service incidents and symptom dates. Include imaging reports and key records. Staple and label everything, and hand the clinician a single packet rather than a loose stack. Ask them to initial any records they rely on and to sign the opinion or DBQ.
One step, one record, one mission. That little habit, a tidy packet and a one-page timeline, saves time and improves the chance a clinician will help.
Now, quick templates you can copy. For a treating clinician, please review the attached service and medical records and complete the enclosed DBQ for condition. If you prefer a written opinion, please state whether, to a reasonable degree of medical probability, the condition is related to or aggravated by military service. List the records you relied on and describe functional limitations. Please sign and provide credentials.
For a private specialist, please provide a detailed opinion with diagnosis, the basis for causation or aggravation, records and tests reviewed, explanation of functional impact, and your credentials and signature. Keep copies of everything and add them to your claim file.
Okay, time to recap and give you one practical action. A single, well-documented Nexus opinion can tilt a claim from unsupported to understandable. 3 takeaways. 1. Get rationale. Ask the clinician to explain why, not just state an opinion. 2. Tie the opinion to records, dates, tests, and findings. 3. Describe functional impact, how it limits daily life and work. Practical action right now. Draft a short request template you can hand a clinician, and assemble a one-page timeline of your symptoms and key service events. Put those in a single packet and keep a copy for your records. Thank you for listening to the Veteran Benefits Reset podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it with another veteran who could benefit. Download your free 7-step Veteran Benefits Reset Guide at vetbizmedia.com/veteran7. And remember, your service did not expire. Your story is still worth reviewing. Take the next responsible step.